Deep in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, a subtle but significant shift is underway. A weak La Niña has begun to take shape, quietly altering the balance of the world's largest ocean. While it may seem distant and abstract, this change is about to set off a chain reaction that will ripple across continents, with the United States poised to feel its effects most acutely in the coming months. The atmosphere above us is more interconnected than we often realize. What starts as a subtle cooling of ocean waters thousands of miles away can, in time, reshape the weather patterns that define our daily lives. As La Niña strengthens, its influence will be felt from coast to coast, affecting everything from temperature swings to the frequency and intensity of storms. This phenomenon is marked by cooler-than-average sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern Pacific. But these seemingly minor temperature differences are anything but trivial. They act as a powerful driver of global weather, shifting the balance of heat and moisture in the atmosphere and setting the stage for dramatic changes far from the ocean itself. When La Niña emerges, it doesn't just cool the ocean. It alters the very flow of the atmosphere. The trade winds strengthen, pushing warm water further west and allowing cold, deep water to rise to the surface. This, in turn, changes the way heat and energy are distributed around the globe. One of the most immediate impacts is on the jet stream, a fast-moving river of air high above the Earth that acts as a steering current for storms and weather systems. La Niña shifts the jet stream's path, steering storms and air masses in new directions across North America, and setting up a season of surprises. The result? A more volatile, dynamic weather pattern for autumn with colder, stormier conditions in the north and west. Residents in these regions can expect an uptick in wind, rain, and even early snow as the jet stream dips southward, pulling frigid air from Canada and unleashing it across the northern states. Meanwhile, the south and east will experience a different story altogether. Here, La Niña often brings unusual warmth and increased moisture, creating the potential for unseasonably balmy days and a higher risk of heavy rainfall or even severe weather outbreaks. Think of La Niña as the conductor of the season's weather, orchestrating dramatic changes from behind the scenes. Its influence can be subtle at first, but as the weeks go by, the tempo quickens, and the weather becomes more unpredictable and intense. The jet stream's new path pulls cold air from the Canadian Arctic, while at the same time drawing warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. This collision of air masses sets the stage for significant weather events. Everything from powerful windstorms and heavy rain to sudden temperature drops and even early season snowfalls. These changes don't just affect the weather, they impact agriculture, travel, and daily routines. Farmers may have to adjust their harvest schedules, while city dwellers might find themselves caught off guard by sudden downpours or chilly winds. As October deepens, La Niña's influence will only grow stronger, shaping not just the rest of the season, but also laying the groundwork for the winter ahead. The transition from fall to winter may come earlier and with more intensity than usual, as the atmosphere responds to the Pacific's subtle cues. For meteorologists, the arrival of La Niña is a crucial clue. It signals that the atmosphere is primed for more frequent and intense storms, and that forecasting the weeks ahead will require careful attention to the evolving patterns in both ocean and sky. The quiet of late summer is over. In its place, an active, challenging period is beginning, one that will test our ability to adapt and respond to rapidly changing conditions, all triggered by subtle shifts in Pacific temperatures that most of us will never see firsthand. Understanding La Niña is key to understanding the wild weather ahead. By paying attention to these global signals, we can better prepare for the local consequences, whether that means bundling up for an early frost, bracing for storms, or simply marveling at the power of nature's interconnected systems. When most people think of severe weather, their minds jump straight to springtime, tornadoes, hail, and thunderstorms rolling across the plains. But what many don't realize is that spring isn't the only time for severe weather. As the leaves begin to change and the air turns crisp, autumn brings its own second season of storms. This period is often overlooked, but it can be just as intense and dangerous as the storms of spring. From late September through November, the jet stream strengthens and dips farther south than usual. This powerful river of air in the upper atmosphere acts as a boundary, clashing cold, dry air from the north with lingering warmth and humidity from the south. These dramatic temperature contrasts set the stage for explosive storm development, especially across the central and southern United States. This year, meteorologists are keeping a close eye on La Niña, a climate pattern that shifts global weather. La Niña is expected to supercharge this season, making it more active than recent years. The pattern tends to amplify the jet stream's strength and increase the frequency of severe weather outbreaks. With stronger wind shear in place, storms are more likely to organize into dangerous supercells. These rotating storms are the ones most likely to produce tornadoes, large hail, and damaging straight-line winds. The risk for severe weather is heightened, especially in areas that might not expect it this late in the year. Autumn storms are often fast-moving and can strike with little warning, day or night. Because the days are shorter and storms can hit after dark, it's vital to have multiple ways to receive warnings, whether it's a weather radio, smartphone alerts, or local news updates. As October progresses and we move deeper into fall, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes become recurring threats. These storms can impact both rural communities and densely populated cities, sometimes with little time to prepare. The second severe weather season is unique and dangerous, demanding renewed vigilance from everyone. Staying informed, having a plan, and being ready to act quickly can make all the difference when autumn storms strike. As we look ahead to the heart of October, all eyes are on Sunday, October 19th, a date that's quickly emerging as a focal point for potentially dangerous weather across the central and eastern United States. Forecast models, which have been closely monitored by meteorologists all week, are now zeroing in on this day as a likely candidate for a major storm outbreak. The signals are growing stronger with each new model run, and the consensus is building. Something significant could be brewing. Multiple independent forecast models, both domestic and international, are in rare agreement. A powerful storm system is expected to sweep through, bringing the threat of widespread severe weather. This includes the potential for intense thunderstorms, damaging winds, large hail, and even tornadoes. The risk isn't limited to just one area. It stretches from the southern plains all the way to the Ohio Valley and beyond, putting millions in the potential impact zone. The setup is classic for autumn. A sharp, fast-moving cold front will surge eastward, colliding with a deep pool of warm, moist air streaming north from the Gulf of Mexico. This dramatic clash of air masses will create a highly unstable atmosphere, primed for explosive storm development. The temperature and moisture contrasts will be stark, fueling the energy needed for severe weather to erupt. As this volatile environment takes shape, forecasters warn that thunderstorms could rapidly intensify, developing into powerful supercells or forming long lines of storms that sweep across entire states. The corridor of greatest concern stretches hundreds of miles, meaning that communities far apart could experience severe weather almost simultaneously. For many, Sunday could bring hours of dangerous conditions. Organized lines of storms, known as squall lines or QLCS, are especially concerning as they can produce widespread damaging winds, sudden downpours, and brief but potentially strong tornadoes. The threat may persist well into the night, when storms are harder to see and warnings can be missed, increasing the danger for those caught off guard. What's especially notable is the strong agreement between the leading American and European weather models. Both are showing a remarkably similar evolution of the storm system, which boosts forecasters' confidence in the threat. Meteorologists are working around the clock, analyzing the latest data and refining their forecasts as new information comes in. With this level of risk, now is the time for everyone in the potential path to take action. Review your severe weather plans, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, and talk with your family about what to do if a storm strikes. Stay tuned to trusted weather sources for updates, as the situation could evolve quickly in the days ahead. The stage is set for what could be one of the most impactful weather events of the season. As October 19th approaches, vigilance and preparation will be key to staying safe in the face of this looming storm. Why is the October 19th storm so concerning? It's all about the ingredients. Instability, measured by CAPE, will be high enough to fuel strong storms. Deep moisture from the Gulf will surge north, with dew points reaching the 60s, even as far as Michigan. Powerful wind shear, thanks to a roaring jet stream, will help storms last longer and rotate. This combination, instability, moisture, and wind shear, creates the perfect setup for supercells and tornadoes. Even non-tornadic storms could bring damaging winds to the surface. Meteorologists are focused on this volatile mix, and the public should be too. The risk is real. All the classic ingredients for a severe outbreak are coming together. Stay alert as the potential for danger escalates. The highest risk zone for the October 19th storm stretches from the deep south through the Midwest, especially the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys. States like Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, and even up to Michigan and Illinois could see severe storms. Major cities, Cincinnati, Louisville, Nashville, Indianapolis, Detroit, should prepare for significant impacts. The threat is widespread, with tens of millions potentially affected. Specific threats, damaging winds or tornadoes will depend on local conditions, but everyone in these regions should stay weather aware. As the event nears, pay close attention to official outlooks and updates. Beyond thunderstorms and tornadoes, high winds are a major threat with this storm system. A tight pressure gradient will bring widespread sustained winds of 30-40 mph, with gusts over 50 mph in some areas. These winds can cause power outages, downed trees, and hazardous travel, even outside thunderstorm zones. Another round of strong winds may follow as the system exits, prolonging the danger. Secure outdoor items and prepare for possible power loss. Don't underestimate non-thunderstorm winds. They'll likely be the most widespread impact. High winds will be a persistent hazard for much of the region. As of October 14th, the U.S. is already seeing dramatic weather contrasts. The East Coast faces a nor'easter with flooding rains and high winds, while the West is under winter storm warnings with heavy snow in the mountains. Wind advisories are up in the Midwest as the atmosphere gears up for the weekend's main event. These warnings show the energy already building for the upcoming storm. Coast to coast, La Niña is driving a dynamic autumn pattern. Floods in the east, snow in the west, and winds in the heartland. This volatile setup is the backdrop for the severe threat on October 19th. No matter where you are, now is the time to be weather aware. The late October outlook continues the La Niña theme, a divided nation. The west will be cooler than normal, with early winter conditions in the mountains. The east will be warmer and more humid, fueling instability for storms. The central U.S. will be the battleground, with repeated rounds of rain and severe weather. Above normal precipitation is expected, especially in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys and Great Lakes. The storm on the 19th may be just the start of an active, unsettled period. The west benefits from rain and snow, while the east feels like early autumn. This persistent pattern will define the close of October and the start of November. With such a dynamic and dangerous pattern, complacency is the real enemy. Forecasts are improving, but details can change, so stay informed and check updates often. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Know AA weather radio, weather apps, and local news. Review your severe weather plan now. Know your safe place and have a kit ready. Preparation and quick action save lives when seconds count. Look out for neighbors who may need help and share reliable information. The coming weeks will be active, but with awareness and preparation, we can weather the storms together. The time to get ready is now.